Welcome to the Prep Zone. My name is Grant Yenny, and tonight we're here at Salmen High School for a big Slidell area rivalry matchup as the Northshore Panthers travel to take on the Salmen Spartans. Northshore looking to put it all together, get their first win tonight, and Salmen is looking to build on momentum of a big win against Madison Prep last week. With that said, let's bring in our color analyst, Coach Jimmy Inman. And Coach, let's start with the home team. What are the keys to victory for the Salmen Spartans?
Well, keep doing what they're doing. First of all, Salmen is a big play offense. A lot of athletes. They can just get the ball into the end zone with some quickness. 6 is on the board before you know it. They can not only do it on the offensive side, they can do it on the defensive side. You know, picked up the fumble last week, put it in, 6 more on the board. These guys can score.
And the visiting team, the Northshore Panthers, what are their keys to victory tonight?
Northshore always has good athletes. The question is can they be defensively sound, slow down this attack on the opposite side of the field, and basically be methodical. Keep churning. Make sure that Salmen stays off the field.
Coach, thank you. I spoke with the coaches moments ago. Let's hear what they had to say and get to the action. Pregame with Coach Leonard. Coach, a big rivalry matchup tonight here with Northshore. How do you control your team's emotions in matchups like this?
Our theme right now that we've been kind of progressing through the year with is let's just go 1-0 this week. It doesn't really matter who we're playing right now. The fact that it's Northshore, you know, there's a lot of history there and everything else, but the focus is really on us and trying to get better as a football team. So we haven't been, getting too much into the heated rivalry stuff because it's been a friendly rivalry over the years, and it's just a great matchup through the years as well. So it's just about us trying to get better this week as a football team and overcoming some obstacles that we had to face last week. You know, kind of climb a few hurdles there in order to come out with a win. And when we did it, but we didn't come out unscathed. So, we're having to fight through a little adversity this week, and hopefully we're going to be okay.
Yeah, that goes into my next question. You're looking to be 1-0 this week. You were 1-0 last week. How does your team look coming into week 2?
You know, it's going to be a little bit different. We've again had to face a little adversity based on, what happened last week. We've got a few guys that may be not in the game as much as we'd like them to be, based on some of the things that happened last week. Getting banged up a little bit. It was a physical football game last week. So we'll see if the changes we've been forced to make are successful or not. And hopefully we've ironed out some wrinkles and we're going to be okay.
Pregame with Coach Berg. Coach, it's early in the season, week 2. How does your team look coming into week 2 tonight?
I feel pretty good about tonight. We thought we played hard. We played pretty decent against Zachary. It was a good football team, and we made too many mistakes, and they made some big plays. But I was pleased with our effort. So if we get that same effort tonight, I think we can stay with Salmen. They got a good football team, and they always do, and they always play hard. So we're going to have to play our best game tonight to be able to beat these guys.
This is a big rivalry matchup in this area. How do you control your team's emotions coming into a matchup like this?
It's pretty emotional, and I spoke to them several times during the week, and yesterday about controlling their emotions and playing between the whistles and playing as hard as they can, and that's what we're going to try to do, and hopefully just play hard. We don't want any personal fouls. We don't want none of that. We don't need none of that. We just need to play hard, and that's what we're going to do.
And Eddie Smith will put this one in play for the Salmen Spartans. Back deep for the Panthers are Fleming and Crawford, awaiting the whistle from the officials on the field, and there it is. Smith kicking this one away. It won't reach the end zone. It'll be caught by Fleming, who takes it around the 10-yard line, stuttering upfield before being brought down at about the 25-yard line by Dontrell Robinson.
Well, 1st and 10 at the 25. It's time for Northshore to go out and do exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the game, and that's exercise some control, make sure that they can handle Salmen's defensive front, and basically put together a drive, keep Salmen's offense on the sideline.
So we get our first look of the season at Walter Harris III and this Northshore Panther offense. Harris III, a commit to play for West Point.
He had a good week last week, very efficient, 7 for 12, 165 yards and a touchdown. Let's see what happens with the snap of the first ball here.
And a Salmen player coming off, that is Jeremy Hudson. coming off the field. There's a little bit of confusion as a player needs to come on and running onto the field.
Must have been an equipment issue. Other than that, it doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah, Dedrick Cheatham into the game. So Harris calling for it on first down. He will keep it. Going up the middle, a big hole, running 40, and he'll be brought down by Eddie Smith before getting to at about the 44-yard line.
Excellent read by Harris. Basically saw the defensive end roll to his left. He went right, and right was right up the middle.
Yeah, when they told me that Walter Harris had committed to play for West Point, I said, that's a perfect fit for him.
Absolutely. What a great institution. He will fit in nicely there.
Two backs in the backfield here, 1st and 10 once again, ball at the 44. Calling for it is Harris. This time he'll pass. Looking downfield, has protection. Dawson, a big hit by Eddie Smith, intended for Cade Fleetwood.
That would have been a tough grab. Tough grab right there. Nice hit, well timed. Got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, Smith showing reasons why he is a TCU commit.
No doubt. D1 all the way right there.
Yeah. So that brings up 2nd and 10 at the 44, 11:24 on the clock here in the first. In the backfield, you have Harris along with Dwayne Jones Jr. Jones Jr., a junior running back. Snap, handoff to Jones, bouncing it out near sideline, going up, has plenty of room to run before being brought down at about the 40-yard line by Larry Barnes.
Northshore's doing an excellent job. Harris is just reading everything beautifully. It makes total sense. He's going to be a cadet. Intelligent, cerebral player.
So that's another first down for North Shore as they continue their march down the field here at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10. A new running back is in Harris's right. Harris calls for it, and he will give to Bounds, and Bounds has room to run. That's another first down, still going over there on the far sideline before being pushed out of bounds.
Bringing Bounds, the ball carrier.
By Lawrence Spears.
Coach Mike Borg has to be very happy with the way this is playing out right now. His quarterback's doing an excellent job reading everything. His offensive coordinator's doing an excellent job with the play calling. This is exactly the drive that he would have drawn up on the board prior to this game.
First down, Panthers.
Another first down for the Panthers at the 22. They break the huddle. They will have 3 to the left, 1 to the right. In at running back now, Jones Jr. back in. And they split out Fleetwood.
This could be a fade.
Play action. Toss, caught. And he's brought down near the 5-yard line. The pass complete to Ethan Swan.
Nice grab. Brought it in. Turned. Got him a couple of extra yards and setting up shop nice and tight against the goal here.
Swan, a 6-foot, 190-pound senior, playing the tight end position for Coach Berg. And another first down for North Shore, who have operated very efficiently here on this drive. First and goal. Ball on the 5. They're awaiting the play call from the sideline, subbing out players. Checking into the game, Jones Jr. comes back in, and they'll have a 2-back set. As the Salmen band plays Talking Out the Side of Your Neck. Harris calling for it. He'll hand off to Bounds, who's bottled up immediately. Still won't go down, and eventually brought down there by Michael Marco.
Good job by the Salmen front 4 right there. He ran into a wall, and they made it stand. Good job.
9:32 on the clock, and that'll bring up a second down. We haven't seen that very much on this drive on the first drive of the game.
North Shore has really been doing an excellent job in terms of moving the ball. The tempo's been nice. Play calling's been excellent. But now is where it's tough. It's tough yardage right in here.
So Harris will be in the gun with Jones Jr. behind him, the pistol formation. Handoff, Jones Jr. looking to get on through. He's bottled up, and
Jones, the
he'll
ball
be
carrier.
dropped by Michael Marco.
This definitely sets up a big third down. North Shore with such a wonderful drive. They're going to want 7 here, obviously. To come away with 3 would be a win for the Salmen defense.
So Harris awaiting the play, checking into the game. Terrius Crawford along with Brandon Bounds. As North Shore is looking to punch it in here on 3rd and goal. They have a 2-back set, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, split way out here. Eddie Smith matched up with Cade Fleetwood. Harris calling for it. He's rolling to his right. He'll keep it, and he will be in for the touchdown.
Harris, the ball carrier.
And North Shore is on the board first.
Once again, another great decision. Quarterback keep, go around the end. He found his spot. Quite the athlete that he is. He found Pater. Good job.
So the extra point unit is on to attempt the extra point after the Walter Harris touchdown. And on to attempt is Andrew Stein, the 5'8 junior kicker. Hold coming from punter Austin Dunlap. Snap, kick is up, and it's no good. So with 8:10 remaining here in the first quarter, North Shore leads 6-0. Smith and Gable back deep to return for the Spartans as Andrew Stein puts it in play after the North Shore touchdown, and that is a touchback. So Salmen will start at the 20-yard line. And that's a great weapon to have when you have a kicker who can put it in the end zone for a touchback.
Yes, indeed. 80 yards, 75 yards, I should say. That's a lot of ground to chew, so quite a weapon.
So 1st and 10, we'll get our another look here. And
on the 20-yard line.
well, let's see. LJ Leonard still banged up, so it looks like Eddie Smith is in the backfield at quarterback. So Smith calling for it, and he will hand off and met in the backfield by Heath Panks Jr.
I tell you what, he was there so quick I thought he was going to get the snap. That was an excellent job. I mean, the penetration was immediate.
Aaron Williams on the carry, the 5'8", 175-pound junior. And like you said, yeah, immediate penetration, 7:46 to go here in the first, and Smith
2nd down, 14 Spartans.
calling in the play to his team. Signal coming in from the sideline. Smith snap back. They hand it off to Williams once again. This time he'll gain
the ball carrier.
about 4 yards on the carry, and that'll bring up 3rd and 9.
It's a nice tackle right there in the middle of the field. If he gets through that tackle, and it wasn't an arm tackle, because if it was, he was off to the races. So it was an excellent job.
3rd down, 8 Spartans.
And in pregame, talking to Coach Leonard, he said, look for a lot of the run tonight. He didn't hint that LJ Leonard might be out, but he did. His son LJ got banged up in the game last week. He didn't hint that he wouldn't be able to go, but now I'm understanding what he meant by they would be running the ball a little bit more.
So it would seem.
And the penalty will back up the Spartans. So 3rd and 13.
A little early season pre-snap issue, but definitely don't want that. Those can become drive killers.
Especially with a new quarterback in there. And Smith will keep it. This time coming left side. He's hit in the backfield looking to evade tacklers, and he's bottled up by a host of Panthers there, but met first by Heath Panks Jr.
I think North Shore got the memo. They are definitely selling out on the run.
23,
and it's going to be a tough sledding right there if he's going to be facing those type of numbers in the box.
4th down, Spartans.
So now we'll see Eddie Smith
into punt. Number
in the
8,
punt.
Smith.
Usually LJ Leonard is their punter, and he's an outstanding punter we've seen in the past. But Eddie Smith,
yes,
in the punt for the Spartans.
He's got a cannon, so this is an unknown at this point.
Awaiting the snap, 6:07 on the clock. Snap is back. It gets there. Smith kicks it straight up in the air, as I believe one of the North Shore players got a hand on it, and it's down at about the 15-yard line. So great field position for North Shore here on their second drive of the game.
Yes,
First
very
down,
much so.
Panthers.
I tell you, no matter how many times you attempt it in practice, in particular when you have an injury that precedes it, and you're the next guy up, that game speed, that's a different story altogether. And I have a feeling as he goes forward, he'll get more acclimated to that. But right out of the gate, that's a tough situation to be in, and it's definitely a benefit for North Shore right now.
And it's a beautiful 70-degree night here at Salmen High School, but we have a heat and humidity break. So we will step away as North Shore leads 6-0 here in the first quarter. After the heat and humidity break, North Shore outstanding field position at the 15-yard line. They have two to the right, one to the left. Handoff, and immediately met and dropped in the backfield by Antonio Marquez.
That was an excellent play. Much needed for the Salmen defense. They did an excellent job once the field became compressed on that first drive, and they needed to step up and definitely did so right there.
And that was Jones Jr. on the carry, the 5'7", 165-pound junior. And that'll bring up 2nd and 15 for the Panthers. 5:23 remaining on the clock. Ball at the 20. They're awaiting the play call from that far sideline. They'll have the two-back set with Terrius Crawford and Bounds back there with Harris. Little miscommunication. And let's see. Yeah, a flag for delay of game called on North Shore. There was a little bit of miscommunication in the backfield as to where Bounds and Crawford should line up.
I tell you, Salmen is doing just like North Shore. They got 7 in the box. They're bringing their safety up, taking a look in the backfield, playing run first, looking for the pass if it comes out. Basically, with the abilities of these two quarterbacks, it's something that you have to do.
So 2nd and 20 for the Panthers. Snap is back. Harris will throw. Pass is in and out of the hands of Bounds as pressure bore down from Lawrence Spears.
That pressure was the difference. He found a nice little seam right there. The ball was a tad bit behind him, but the reality is, when you're working on split-second timing and someone's in your face, those are the kind of mistakes that happen.
In the old, they heard footsteps.
And he could see who was making those footsteps. That was the biggest issue of all.
So 3rd and 20 for the Panthers. 2 to the right, 2 to the left, with Jones Jr. in the backfield, looking to capitalize on that great field position, but they've gone backward so far on this drive. Harris calling for it, looking downfield, passing situation, has pretty good protection, and he throws it intended over there for Daniel Cantrell, but it was short and hit the ground.
With the ability of North Shore's field goal kicker, that was probably a wise decision. Don't do anything brash and see what happens. If they choose to punt right here, then they can definitely hem in Salmen's offense. But with the leg on this guy, 3 points is definitely where they're looking.
Yeah, Andrew Stein
Down,
on to attempt 35-yard field goal out of the hold of Dunlap.
Number 86, Andrew Stein.
Stein puts it up and has the leg, and it's good.
Field goal's good.
He put a charge in that one. Into that one, it was good from a lot further than 42, I must say.
So with 4:14 remaining here in the first quarter, the North Shore Panthers lead 9-0. So Stein to kick off following his 35-yard field goal that gave his team, North Shore, the 9-0 lead, and that one kicked away and once again into the end zone for the touchback, and that's what we talked about on that first kickoff. That is a great weapon to have when he could put it in the end zone on almost every kickoff.
It's invaluable. I mean, when you're making the other team drive 80, every single time. You take the big return out of the equation, and let's be honest, Salmen has that ability to bring that ball back to the house. So when you take it out of their hands, it's a wonderful weapon for Coach Borg to have.
1st and 10 for Eddie Smith and the Salmen Spartan offense. They have Smith will hand it off to Williams right side, and he's bottled up for no gain. On the tackle is Austin Toms.
Excellent job of Northshore, just putting numbers towards the ball and shifting, taking away the initial running attack of Salmen.
And that brings up 2nd and 11 for the Salmen offense, and they have a single. Smith was alone. He takes it and he runs left side before being dragged down
the ball carrier
there by Hunter Gill. And Gill, a 5'9", 190-pound junior.
What an excellent tackle in open space. That's not easy to do.
Especially on Eddie Smith, one of the best athletes in the state.
Absolutely. Smith's a little ginger right there, it looks.
3rd down, 11 Spartans.
So now the play being signaled in from the sideline for Smith. They'll split 3 to the right, have 1 to the left, with Aaron Williams and Eddie Smith in the backfield. And Smith will keep this one going right side this time, looking to get around. The defense has the block there, but he'll be pushed out of bounds for a loss of about 2.
North Shore's defense is just absolutely flowing to the ball. I mean, they're keying in on the quarterback, taking away run first up the middle, and then just sideline to sideline. It's going to take something special for Salmen to actually get through that wall that North Shore's putting out there.
So Fleming back to return for the Panthers. Smith will punt once again. The first punt gave North Shore some very good field position, looking to get this one further out here on 4th and 12. 2:12 remaining here in the first quarter. Ooh, near jump for and there's the flags.
The question is was he drawn off, or is that encroachment?
Let's see, awaiting the call.
That's an illegal shift.
And illegal shift on Salmen, so that'll back him up even further. No, it's on North Shore.
So,
well, that's funny. The white hat pointed towards the Spartan.
Yes, he did. There's some confusion amongst the officials. Evidently, they sorted it out, though.
Offsides.
So it is offsides called on Jeremiah McDonald. 4th and 7 for the Spartans. Snap is back. Good snap there. And Smith able to get a good spiral punt off.
That's much better.
Yeah, Khalil Fleming returning this one on the far sideline, and he'll be bottled up at the 50, fighting for an extra couple of yards before being brought down by a host of Spartans there. A much better punt for the
Absolutely, absolutely. North Shore still winning the field position battle, but they got a little bit of a chew here to make their way to the end zone, and it gives Salmen's defense, which is played fairly well given the circumstances, gives them something to work with.
So 1:46 to go in the first. North Shore leads 9-0. This will be 1st and 10 for the Panther offense. As soon as they set the ball, there seems to be a little bit more confusion and discussion on the field. I guess there was a penalty, flag, right near where Fleming caught the punt, and that'll back him up to the 42.
And the punt just got a little bit more valuable right there.
An illegal block in the back on the Panthers. So now we'll have that 2-back set. Once again, you have Harris the third back there with Bounds and Jones Jr. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Harris calling for it. Handoff up the middle, has room to run, and that is Bounds. He'll gain about 3.
Another excellent tackle in open field. I tell you what, Salmen's defense, Coach Leonard has a lot of confidence in these guys. He's asking the young men at the corners to handle their business, and so far they have. And that's freeing up one of their safeties to actually come in and take away some of the run.
Second down, Panthers.
So 2nd and 7 for the Panthers. Two-back set once again. Harris. Oh, they draw the hard count there, and that draws the Spartans off sides. 2 players jumped, Mers and Antonio Marquez.
A lot of discipline on North Shore's offensive line right there. Quarterback, excellent hard count. I tell you what, that triple option at Army with him running it,
That'll be something special.
that it will be. It will be.
So 2nd and 1 for the Panthers, staying in that 2-back set. New play coming in from the sideline. The Panthers call for it. And handoff up the middle, bounds, plenty of room to run. He exploded through that hole there.
Indeed, he was shot out of a cannon.
And he stood up. Forward progress stops by the Spartans. But that is a huge gain for Bounds.
Tell you what, it wasn't an arm tackle, but it was a shirt tackle that was attached to an arm, and if it wasn't for that, he might have been fine in 6.
So that is a 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the 37.
Number 10, Lance Spears.
At about 30 seconds on the clock. North Shore staying in that 2-back set.
First down, 10 Panthers.
Let's see what they do here. 18 seconds. Harris will call for it, and he'll hand off to Jones Jr. going left side. Shook off one tackler, and he's still going farther to that far sideline before being wrestled down by a host of Spartans over there.
Tell you what, it looked like Salmen had someone in the backfield. I mean, on the spot, he was just able to shake that tackle off. And once he did, there was some space for him, and boy, did he take advantage.
Yeah, it just took one little stiff arm to push him away. But that is another 1st down, and that will end the 1st quarter as North Shore leads 9-0.
St. Tammany Parish Public Schools, an A-rated school district. Graduates with the highest ACT scores in the state. Facilities with the latest technology. Safe and secure schools. A variety of sports. Fine arts. And learning to last a lifetime.
I'm Superintendent Trey Foles, and this is where we educate every child, every day.
To start off the 2nd quarter, the North Shore Panthers still driving. Its 1st and 10 balls at the 26-yard line. Harris calling for it, and he'll hand off to Crawford up the middle. Crawford stopped after a gain of about 5.
Tell you what, that's a good push by the offensive line right there, because there was 8 in the box, and he still got 5.
And something that we noticed in the break between quarters is Eddie Smith, playing quarterback in for L.J. Leonard, isn't able to go in on defense. That's a huge weapon that's out for the Spartans.
Absolutely. No matter how much quality the person that's coming in after him has, he's not Eddie Smith.
So 2nd and 6 for the Panthers. Bounds and Crawford in the backfield. Bounds and Jones Jr. And Harris will keep it himself, and he'll fall forward for a gain of about 1. So that'll bring up a 3rd down for the Panthers, and actually, let's see, no gain.
It's decision time for Coach Board.
When you could take a shot, passing Eddie Smith not in. So I would say a pass here coming for the Panthers.
I thought North Shore was set up for a fade route earlier. This would actually be a pretty good spot to pull that out, in particular with the weapon they have kicking.
And Harris, 3rd down, calling for it. And they will hand it off to Crawford, running forward. He won't get there. That'll bring up a 4th down.
That's a decision now to be made. Salmen's defense has been admirable. They've been up to the task, but this is a tall ask. At this point, they've been on the field quite a bit.
Yeah, they've definitely controlled the time of possession.
And it does look like North Shore's going for it, and it makes sense here given the circumstances.
Oh yeah, 4th and 2 at the 18.
Coach Leonard's asked a lot of his defense. They've stepped up the previous times that they've been asked to. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, 2-back set with Bounds and Jones Jr. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Harris calling for it. They'll hand off to Bounds up the middle, trucking for it, and he got close to the first down, if not got it. Yes, first down for the Panthers. He was wrestled down over there by Jeremy Hudson.
Once again, you had a guy for Salmen that shot into the backfield, but I tell you what, you're not going to arm tackle backs in a 5A setting, and that's tough. That's tough.
So 9:23 on the clock here in the second. North Shore leads 9-0. North Shore is driving. 1st and 10, ball at the 14. Harris calling for it. High snap, he will keep it himself, looking to redirect. Started going right, brought it back up the middle, and he was met by a host of Spartans, Antonio Marquez and others.
That was just beautifully done by the Salmen defensive line. They keyed on him. They made the play. Just swarmed over the quarterback at that point, and it was a see ball, get ball kind of moment. Kudos to them.
Derek Maroney also in on the stop. So 2nd and 11 for the Panthers. 8:35 and clock running, because we've seen a lot of runs in the first half.
And this first half is flying by.
So Bounds, the lone back with Harris. And Harris will keep it himself again, and he's dropped in the backfield.
There's no arm tackling there. They were on him, quick.
Antonio Marquez on the stop, and Marquez, an Iron Man for Salmen. He also lines up as a wide receiver. He had a touchdown last week against the Madison Prep. That was one of those explosive plays, a 47-yard touchdown.
And I tell you, North Shore has done a good job of bottling Salmen's offense up to a degree. But those big plays, it's lightning in a bottle, and once it happens, it's there. So Salmen's defense has been known to score.
They had one last week, and Harris has time to screen. Get it to Jones Jr. going left side, and he'll be tackled by guess who? Antonio Marquez.
I tell you, he's been everywhere tonight.
7:27 on the clock here in the first half.
Coach Leonard's Spartans are definitely living up to their name. Their defense is really showing just a lot of fitness, a lot of toughness.
And so on 4th down, they'll bring Stein on once again. He completed the 35-yard field goal earlier. Spot kick is up, and that one is wide right. No good. So the defense for the Spartans holds strong, and they get a break there with the missed field goal. Let's see if the offense can capitalize.
Indeed.
So we'll see Eddie Smith and the Spartans once again. 6:53 on the clock as we await the North Shore defense coming out, looking to reset here after the turnover on downs from the missed field goal.
I tell you what, if there's ever a defense that's taken on the persona of their head coach, it's the Salmen Spartans. Absolutely against it in terms of field position, time on the field, and they have performed.
So here's Smith once again in the backfield here. 1st and 10, ball at the 20. Smith keeps it and looking to pass, rolling right, and it's caught by Antonio Marquez playing Ironman football, and he was knocked out of bounds over there by Noah Marquez.
Marquez may as well put on a cape. He's looking like a superhero. He's everywhere out there. Both sides of the ball. And he gets an opportunity to return a kick, there could be some fireworks. But I tell you what, North Shore has done a good job as well this evening.
Yeah, Marquez, 5'10", 175-pound senior. And Smith calls for it, and wow, hit in the backfield and forced back by Hunter Gill.
That's twice tonight Hunter Gill's been in the backfield almost as a handoff has taken place. Unbelievable athleticism.
It was like jailbreak. He came bursting through the line.
He found his spot. He hit that seam, and I tell you what, there was absolutely nothing Salmen could do at that point.
So heat and humidity, nope, third and the official gave the my timeout signal, but we still have about 30 seconds
It's
before
still
the
only
heat and humidity break.
It's only the second game for those guys as well.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 11. The ball's at the 18. Smith calls for it, a little bit of a high snap. He gets it and looking to pass. He launches it downfield, and Fleming, his eyes got as wide as saucers looking for it, and he picks it off.
Tell you, that's not a bad spot to take a shot if you're going to take it, just simply because it's as good as a punt.
Yeah, I mean, he read that the whole way as it passed to the point where it was overthrown. So he ran forward about 3 yards to go get it.
And I tell you, what great skill to catch that over the shoulder like that and find his way along the sideline, make sure his feet are in bounds. That was excellent.
And Fleming, another one on this North Shore team who's going to play for West Point.
Wow, that's just amazing. Mitchie Field up in, that's in New York. Colder winters there, though, I can promise you.
Much colder. A beautiful campus, though.
Oh, I haven't been, but they say it is gorgeous.
So 6:07 on the clock here in the first half. Two-back set. Jones Jr. in bounds. Ball's at the 46. Harris calling for it. Play action, rolling to his right, looking downfield, and it is in and out of the hands of Ethan Swan, incomplete. But a beautiful pass nearly in, and it was dropped.
That was superb. I tell you what, if that's on film, Army's going to love that. What a weapon to have. If you've got a quarterback that can get out on the move and sling it like that, man, that makes the triple option that much more scary.
Exactly. And with 5:58 to go here in the first half, there's a heat and humidity timeout as North Shore leads 9-0. Everybody hydrated up after the heat and humidity timeout. And it's 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Harris dropping back, pressure bearing down, has to run for it, and he is dropped for the sack by Michael Mickey, the senior defensive lineman for the Spartans.
I tell you what, Salmen's defense once again stepping up. That was important, too, after that long pass that was almost completed. Makes the safeties think twice about cheating up, so you really are relying on your front seven to handle their business, and right there they did.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Panthers.
3rd down, 10 Panthers.
Subbing players out bounds, going off to the sideline. Jones Jr. will be in the backfield with Harris. They're doing the base set, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Here on 3rd down, Harris draw, and he is met in the backfield, bottled up and dropped by a host of Spartans. Initial contact made by number 78, Rashawn Gillespie, a junior defensive lineman.
And I tell you what, he didn't budge once he absorbed the quarterback Harris right there. I mean, just superb defense by Salmen.
And Smith and Gable back to return for the Spartans. And on to punt for the Panthers is Austin Dunlap. In Dunlap, we've seen him as the holder tonight, but he was also a preseason All-Metro pick for punter.
This guy can put it in orbit.
Yeah, we saw him in warm-ups, and it really is unbelievable how much height he can get on it in distance. And that one there, not one of his best.
Well,
but still, Salmen will get it at the 20. So, he did his job there, but not one of his best.
That may be a tactical situation where Coach Borg's looking at the scoreboard saying, you know what, let's just keep it out of the hands of someone that can hurt you.
Yeah, keep it out of the hands of the very explosive Eddie Smith. You got Dunlap, a 6', 195-pound junior. So that brings up 1st and 10 for the Spartans. 4:14 to go here in the first half. Smith back there with Williams. Smith will hand off to Williams, looking to go, and that hole opened up. That was a beauty there, juking around defenders, looking to get to the sideline, and he's brought out of bounds, tackled down by Northwestern commit Jeremiah McDonald.
It was a nice tackle. He had a little bit of space, but boy, what a burst up the middle. Salmen's offensive line did a good job of creating some space, and he didn't wait around. He went right through that hole, and tell you what, again, Salmen is only one play away from putting 6 on the board.
So that's 1st and 10 for the Spartans here at the 33-yard line. Eddie Smith calls for it, and he hands off Williams once again, who's tripped up in the backfield by Gill.
Yeah, guess
once
who?
again. Yeah,
guess who?
The very explosive Hunter Gill.
I tell you what, I don't know if he was in the film room with the Salmen offense, but he seems like he's a step ahead right now.
Yeah, 2nd and 10 for the Spartans as the play comes in from the sideline. 3:39 to go here in the second. See Smith taking his time to get the play in. Northshore rearing back to go. Pitch to Williams, and he's met in the backfield looking to get away from the defender, still on his feet, and he's brought down by a host of Panthers way in the backfield.
I tell you what, once he wasn't able to break containment, North Shore had the guys there. It's just that simple. They swarmed to the ball.
And Austin Toms, along with a host of other Panthers, in on that stop. And that brings up 3rd and 10. Excuse me, 3rd and 10. What am I thinking here? 3rd and 23. It's 3rd and a mile.
Yeah, it's a cab ride at this point. So
2:41 to go here in the half. And you'd think you'd be seeing a little bit more up-tempo from the Spartans.
Yes, I think that this is inexperience.
And Smith trying to make something out of nothing. He'll gain about 4 yards on the carry there.
And that was all him. I mean, if he doesn't make something there, it's a sack all day long.
It looked as if he almost wasn't expecting the snap there. Kind of caught him off guard.
It certainly looked that way. He bobbled it for a quick second. He wasn't able to place the ball with the running back. It looked like it was going to be a delayed draw. And once the snap was fumbled, well, not fumbled, but bobbled, he had one option and one option only, and that was go time.
So now Smith drops back to punt here on 4th and 18 for the Spartans. Back deep is Fleming. And, oh, that one rides the ground. It went off the side of his foot. And Fleming picks it up and runs with it and gets it down to about the 20-yard line. Good heads-up play by Fleming as Salmen was kind of watching the ball and were lulled to sleep there almost.
That's absolutely.
Thinking they were just going to down it.
And that's a big play for 2 reasons. Basically, the way that Salmen's defense has been playing, that 10 or 12 extra yards put them in immediate field goal range. Not to say they're thinking of 3, I'm sure they're thinking of 6, but what a heads-up play.
And the punt went off the side of the foot there of Smith. So that's 1st and 10 at the 19 for the Panthers. Harris calling for it. He'll hand off to Bounds, who's dropped in the backfield by Michael Mickey.
Bounds the ball carrier.
He was on him with some quickness, and tell you what, showed a lot of upper body strength to actually bring him down like that.
So 1:17 to go.
2nd down, 9 Panthers.
And it will be Jones Jr. along with Harris. Harris calls for it, hands off. Jones Jr. exploding through the line, still on his feet and going, and he's brought down by a host of Spartans there, but after a gain of about 7.
Tell you what, he got hit about 3 yards into that run, and the next 3 or 4, that was all on him. He good hard running between the tackles.
So let's see. That brings up a 3rd and 3. 30 seconds left on the clock here. Do you think we see a shot from Harris?
I tell you what, I've called for the fade twice. I'm not saying it a third time.
19.
I'd say a quarterback keeper here.
He's rolling out left side. He does keep it, and he is going forward, and he's out of bounds at. Oh, they say he didn't go out.
He was
There, he called the timeout, but he's down at the 1-yard line. Yeah, good heads-up play to know about how much time is left on the clock and call that timeout.
Well, with a timeout or two in the bank right here, they could go for it potentially with a real quick quarterback keeper. Just put the ball over the top, see if he breaks the plane. If he doesn't, hit the deck and call a timeout, bring your kicker on.
And so with that timeout, we'll head to a break. 8 seconds left here in the first half, and North Shore leads 9-0.
First down, goal, Panthers.
All right, 1st and goal for the Panthers. 8 seconds left on the clock. Ball is at the 2.
One last time for Salmen's defense to try to step up and keep them in this rivalry game.
Bounds and Jones Jr. in the backfield. There's a stoppage here with the official. And now he'll start it once again. Harris will call for it. Hand off. Jones Jr. and he is stuffed in the backfield. And another timeout is called by the Panthers with 4 seconds remaining here in the first half. And North Shore leading 9-0.
North Shore has been very good with the hard count. That'd put them right close to the goal line if they can get Salmen to jump. Nope.
Harris calls for it, looking right side. It's caught and fighting for those extra yards, and he is in for the touchdown. That is Ethan Swan. Touchdown right before half.
Tell you, Salmen's defense had it diagnosed, but North Shore would not be denied right there. Got through the first tackle and then kept his legs churning and drove into the end zone.
And Stein is on to attempt the extra point once again. Snap. Back. Kick is up, nearly blocked. And that one is good.
Point is good.
So, at halftime, North Shore leads 16-0.
let's welcome your Spartan Band under the direction of Mr. Jim Stevens. Drum majors are Lauren Shiro, Stacia Jackson, and Nick Hersey. Band captains are Roger Magoo, Alden Mason, Alejandra Ham, and Pinell Paul. Brass captain is Gabe Paravarov, who arranged all of our halftime music for tonight. Drum captain is Andrew Clatterbuck, along with co-captains Davon McNamee and Chandler Green. Flag team captain is Amanda McNeil, along with co-captains Summer Delpit and Lieutenant Liana Felton. Section leaders are Connor Waters, Brandon Oliveras, Nadira Rambaran, Javen Carroll, Renee. Now, let's play some Timeless Zelda by Nintendo, where the Salmen Band plays like legends. We will now feature our drum line with Super Mario theme. Let's see who will get to the flag first. Mario, Luigi, who will rescue Princess Peach from the Toad. Get those coins. Oh, it looks like Mario fell down. Luigi's in the lead. Toad's got the princess. Luigi still got the lead. Mario's chasing him. Mario just can't seem to catch him. Oh, looks like Mario might have another gold coin. And here they come. It's a close race. And who's going to get the princess? The band will now go and catch your attention with Pokemon. And now let's welcome Salmen Spartanettes, led by Captain Diamond Sampson, as they dance to... Nope, sorry, wrong one. I already read the other one. The band will now go and catch your attention with Pokemon. we can welcome the Salmen High Spartanettes, led by Captain Diamond Sampson, as they dance to Starboy by The Weeknd. Let's give the Salmen Spartanettes, the Silk Spinners, and the band a big round of applause as they play your Salmen fight song. And go Spartans!
And kicking off the second half for the Panthers, Andrew Stein kicking downfield. Eddie Smith looking to return. And per usual, Andrew Stein puts it in the end zone as the Panthers lead 16-0 here at the start of the third quarter.
Him putting it in the end zone is the norm. He's got a cannon, and again, it's a weapon. Coach Borg is fortunate to have it. It really put Salmen behind the eight ball in terms of driving. They've had a difficult time tonight with the changes to their lineup, and Northshore's defense has made it that much more difficult.
Yeah, Eddie Smith had that explosive 50-yard touchdown reception last week. This week, he's having to play quarterback, so those explosive plays are limited for the Spartans as they've had to keep it on the ground most of the night, and they'll start off with a handoff to Williams, and he's bottled up immediately by the ball-hawking Panther defensive line.
When you take off a weapon of the caliber of Eddie Smith from a wideout perspective, it totally limits Salmen's ability to stretch the field. It allows North Shore to put guys in the box, and it makes that running game just that much more difficult to find some room.
And now Antonio Marquez, number 18 for the Spartans, is an explosive player as well. However, when you have an inexperienced quarterback, a guy who, L.J. Leonard has been their quarterback for a long time here at Salmen, so a guy who's never played the position, unable to get the ball to him because he hasn't really thrown passes as much as one pass tonight was picked off by Khalil Fleming.
Yep. And once again, North Shore would have been in the backfield right there. It's run blitz time, and until Salmen can hit a pass, and at least a pass with some yardage behind it,
right?
The DBs, in particular the safeties, they're going to roll up for North Shore.
So after the penalty, it's 2nd and 17 for the Spartans. Ball on the 13-yard line. So they await to signal in the play. Williams in the backfield with Smith. And Smith calls for it. He'll hand off Williams. Going right side, has to cut it back toward the middle. And he's stopped by a host of Panthers, including Jeremiah McDonald and Austin Toombs.
Williams made a nice cut in the hole right there and found an extra 4 yards. It's been tough sledding, but I tell you what, he's a good back.
So that brings up third down and 11 for the Spartans. Here, 10:35 to go here in the third. And Smith alone. Smith pressure coming. Wow, almost immediately he's hit as he throws, and that one falls incomplete. Intended for number 25, Anthony Mosley. And bearing down on the coverage was Cole Cavallo.
He was in the backfield quick. He blew up his block and was able to put the pressure on. And I tell you what, it's tough to stand in there and take that lick when you're the guy protecting your quarterback's blind side. And he did the job, at least enough of it to allow his quarterback to drift out and at least attempt to pass.
So it's 4th and 11. Eddie Smith to punt. He's had 2 that didn't go very far tonight. Let's see this one. That gets distance. It gets back to Fleming, and Fleming has to call the fair catch.
That was an excellent punt.
Yeah, an excellent punt from Smith. So North Shore will take over at the 46-yard line.
A lot of promise on his punts. Again, the problem with it is the inexperience. So there's no consistency yet. But I tell you what, he put a nice little charge into that one.
So we'll see the North Shore offense here. 10-12 remaining here in the third. And North Shore is up 16-0. And I believe, Coach Inman, we will see more of the same.
Yes, I tell you, Salmen's defense has been really impressive given the circumstances tonight. They've been on the field for quite some time. Coach Leonard really and his staff have done a good job of coaching them up. Let's see if Coach Borg will actually try to put a little wear and tear on them in the second half.
And Harris keeps it once again coming near sideline, putting a lick on the defensive players as he carries it down, and he's pushed out of bounds down here at about the 40-yard line.
He is a load, and I tell you what, when he gets around that end, he's not shying away from contact.
Number 7, Gerald Harris.
So ball at the 40-yard line, and over there making contact, that was Gerald Davis, 6 foot, 170-pound junior defensive back for the Spartans. But 1st and 10 as the Panthers continue to go. And first half stats here, North Shore had 131 yards of total offense. Salmen with negative 13. Those stats courtesy of our friends at NOLA.com.
Yeah, it's been one of those things where losing their quarterback has really shuffled the lineup of Salmen, and quite frankly, Coach Borg's defensive troops have done an excellent job. It's been a bunch of run blitzes, safeties rolled up and taking away the run, focusing on the run, trying to force the issue, and they've done that job.
So the ball at the 36, and it is 2nd and 6. Over there on the far sideline, they had the 4-down box was on 4th down.
That was going to be a quick 4 downs,
yeah.
is what that was.
You got it from 1st to 4th.
2nd down, 6, Panthers.
So 2-back set. Bounds and Jones Jr. This time the give to Bounds, looking to bounce it outside. He's hitting the backfield. He cuts it up, and the ball comes loose. And they're fighting for it. Let's see. It looked like Crawford may have gotten there for the Panthers. And he did, yes.
Recovered by the Panthers.
That was Terrius Crawford.
Quick reflexes there, keeps the drive alive. Salmen actually had good penetration. They were in the backfield once again, though. Running back's able to break containment there. Fortunately for Salmen, they were able to strip the ball, but right place. But they gotta clean it up and finish that tackle.
Yeah, we've called his name many times. That was Antonio Marquez who got that initial penetration into the backfield. But here's 3rd and 10. Motion out from Jones Jr. And the pass, Harris overthrown and picked off by the Spartans, number 25, Anthony Mosley.
What a great grab. That thing was right off the blades of grass. He got down and was able to get his fingertips under it and do the job that Coach Leonard's asked the defense to do.
Mosley, a senior defensive back for the Spartans, the big play. And Spartan offense looking to use this as a spark and keep going to put some points on the board as they trail 16-0 with 8:18 remaining here in the third.
And in spite of the one-way traffic, it seems in terms of the offensive production, it's still a two-score game.
Smith calls for it, hands off Williams, and he is, wow, he put it, the fumble by the Spartans, and the Panthers recover.
That was a bizarre-looking circumstance. That it looked like some miscommunication between a quarterback and running back, and somebody forgot the football. So, I can promise you this, though, North Shore, Johnny on the spot, they hopped on it, and now it's Salmen's defense is back out on the field again.
First and 10 from the 12, great field position to start for the Panthers.
You know, that miscommunication, when you have an injury like that or someone that's out of the lineup, everything shifts and it's a different feel. So mistakes happen, and that was a mistake, obviously.
So Bounds and Jones Jr. in the backfield with Harris, two-back set as they've been doing most of the game. Motion Jones Jr. out, and pass, Harris, pressure coming, rolling to his left. He'll keep it himself, has plenty of real estate to run, crosses the 10, 5, touchdown. He will go into the end zone for the Panther score.
That was all him. The play broke down. The pressure was excellent. It forced him out of the pocket, and once he broke containment and got outside of the pocket, I tell you what, he had eyes for the end zone, and he wasn't going to be denied.
So Stein on for the extra point once again. Snap is back, placement, kick is up. And it's good. So with 7:57 remaining here in the third quarter, the North Shore Panthers lead 23-0. After the 16-yard touchdown run by Walter Harris III, Andrew Stein puts this in play, and once again, a touchback.
That guy, he's like a catapult, just rears back and it's gone. Boom.
So Andrew Stein, a great asset to Coach Bird's squad. And we'll see the last time the Spartans were on the field on offense, they had the miscommunication between Williams and Smith, led to the fumble. Let's see if they get the offense going here. 7:57 remaining here in the third. It's 1st and 10 from the 20. Smith and Williams in the backfield. And they'll hand it off. Williams up the middle looking to go, but a wall just came right at him, and he's brought down for the loss of 1 in the backfield. The tackle there by number 32, Cole Cavallo, the 6'2", 220-pound senior.
Tell you, if he could ever break containment, he could go the distance. But, I mean, North Shore's been Johnny on the spot, right there, making all the tackles like they're supposed to, gang tackling. It's been an impressive display.
So 2nd and 11 for the Spartans. Play coming in from the sideline. Each player gets one of those wristbands. They call in the play from the sideline, and they have a corresponding number on those wristbands. Smith calling for it, and he'll hand it off to Williams once again. This time he may get back to the original line of scrimmage. So about a gain of 1, maybe 1.5. And Cavallo once again on the stop. So that'll bring up 3rd and 9 for the Spartans.
I mean, under normal circumstances, this is an obvious passing down. But given the circumstances tonight, they're not quite normal. I mean, you had an injury to a major player who obviously wasn't able to go tonight. As a result, shuffled lineup, and a guy that's not as experienced. He's at the trigger, and it's not the norm.
Snap. Smith fakes the toss, but North Shore stays home, stays disciplined, and they're there to bottle Smith up and drop him for about a loss of a yard or two.
I tell you what, it doesn't matter who's playing for Salmen in terms of the way that North Shore has been so sound in their assignments tonight.
So Smith will drop back to punt.
Obviously, Salmen would have a lot more opportunities based on personnel packages, but I tell you what, North Shore has been flawless.
And we have a heat and humidity break here. So with 5:57 remaining here in the third, North Shore leads 23-0. After the heat and humidity break, Eddie Smith is on to punt for the Spartans. And wow, the snap over his head.
And
that will roll out of bounds for the safety.
Ball goes out to the back of the end zone for a safety.
So North Shore will lead 25-0 with 5:39 remaining here in the third quarter. After the safety, Eddie Smith kicking off for the Spartans. Boots it away. Khalil Fleming will return this one, heading up the middle as they try to set up the wall. Going far sideline over there, still on his feet, racing down before being pushed out of bounds close to the 45-yard line. A good return for Fleming, but there is a flag down.
Tell you what, it was an excellent kick and then an excellent return, of course. Let's see if it was aided by anything.
Yeah, waiting the call from the white hat. There's a discussion there at the 40-yard line. 5:27 to go. Let's see. A block in the back called on the Panthers. So, good return, but as you said, it was aided. So, that'll back up the Panthers. And it'll be 1st and 10 at right at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Coach Berg and them will be looking at that in the film room saying, look, guys, that's a big play right there that gets negated. Let's clean that up. But they haven't had many mistakes tonight. They've played pretty darn well.
Harris calling for it. He'll hand it off to Jones Jr. He's
Jones, the ball carrier,
bottled up after a gain of about 3.
That was good, hard running. Nice cut in the hole. Tried to bounce it out, but I tell you, Salmen's defense, I know the score doesn't indicate it, but they really have played pretty darn well.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Panthers. 5 minutes remaining here in the third. North Shore is up 25-0. So now you have 3 to the left, 1 to the right for the Panthers. Single back. And they'll hand it off up the middle. Goes Bounds. And Bounds will gain about another 4.
Stop by number 18.
So that'll, and Marquez on the stop. Marquez has been all over the field tonight for the Spartans.
He has.
Playing Ironman football at that.
Honestly. Like I said, put a cape on him. He's been superb.
So 3rd and 2 for the Panthers. Clock continues to run. As we've seen most of the night, a lot of runs tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a design in terms of the read option that North Shore's looking at occasionally. And, I mean, they've got quality backs to go up the middle. So, yeah, lots of runs.
And handoff once again. This one goes to Bounds. He's met at the line.
That's no gain.
And no gain.
May have actually lost a bit there. It's going to pull up a 4th down, and this is an obvious punting situation most nights. But given the scoreline, given the current circumstances, this is a wait-and-see moment.
And it looks, yep, here comes
4th down, 2 Panthers.
The long snapper, Bo Gaines.
Back to return for the Spartans.
6'1", 180-pound senior, listed on the roster as a long snapper.
I tell you.
Rarely seen, but you know what? If you have that skill.
That's a unique ability.
Yeah.
Seeing the world upside down.
That can get you a college scholarship.
Yep.
And you can go to the NFL, make huge NFL salaries to do that, to snap the ball between your legs upside down. And Austin Dunlap, one of the best punters in the area.
Again, this is a tactical situation, trying to keep the ball out of the playmaker's hands.
But the playmaker got it, and here he goes, crossing down to the 40-yard line.
Salmen with something to cheer about there.
He's tackled by Marcus Sims-Ingram.
Goes to show his quality. I mean, imagine him at the wideout position, receiving that ball in space. It is a different game plan altogether.
And you hear this cheering section here for the Spartans chanting Eddie, trying to fire up the team and cheer on their quarterback for tonight, Eddie Smith.
They know what he means to the team and the program, and I mean, he's quality. He's put himself in a difficult position, just taking one for the team. Coach Leonard put the onus on him. He's done his best given the circumstances, and look, making something happen.
And look at that, a near 10-yard gain, maybe 9.5. That may be marked about a yard short. Let's see. They may give him the first down. We'll see the spot. That looks to be now they give him the first down, but from our view here, it looks to be about a half a yard short.
I'm looking right down the line, and it looked to be just a tad short.
But the favorable spot gets a first down for the Spartans and a big play by the playmaker, Eddie Smith.
And it was all effort.
So 1st and 10 from the 49, snap back to Smith. He'll hand off Williams, looking to run left side, and he's wrestled down by a host of Panthers around the 50-yard line, so about a gain of 1.
That would have made the difference if it weren't called a first down earlier, but now it does set up a 2nd and long.
It's 2nd and 9 for the Spartans as the play comes in from the sideline. In this situation, about 2:20 left in the third, but you're down 25-0. Would you expect to see more up-tempo offense here?
You know, I think, again, the limited experience at the position, when you go up-tempo, things can happen. So slow the game down, allow him to make plays if possible.
And that pass intended for Kyron Donaldson falls incomplete.
That was kind of a tweener. I don't know if he was going looking for the seam or if he was going over the top there, but it ended up in the middle.
So that will bring up 3rd down for the Spartans, 3rd and 9. And also a very rare clock stoppage at 2:01 left in the third.
3rd down, 9 Spartans.
Yeah, the clock operators had an easy night tonight.
So 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Williams in the backfield with Smith.
The pot tickets ready at the end of the 3rd quarter. The winning
The
numbers
bunch trips formation to the right. Smith calling for it. He'll keep it himself, running right side, trying to get around the offense, looking for a hole, and he is wrapped up and brought down by Kershawn Fisher, the 6'1", 215-pound sophomore defensive end for the Panthers.
I tell you what, he didn't look like a sophomore there. He was coached up, right spot, right place, right time. He did his job flawlessly.
4th and 11, and the punting unit will come on. Smith dropping back the punt, and Khalil Fleming will go back to return.
Khalil Fleming.
His last punt was a good one that got back to Fleming, and he had to call for the fair catch.
If he pulls that off this time, they can at least flip the field and put their defense in an advantageous position. They've had their backs against the wall.
So snap coming, and the snap is low, rolls back to Smith. He's going to keep it himself. Got room to go, and he will get the first down.
And he made something out of nothing there.
Yeah, Eddie's, we called him a couple minutes ago. We called him the playmaker, and there he goes again, making more plays. And that's a good spark for the Spartans as that snap rolled back to him, and he picked it up. He thought about kicking it for a second, and then took off.
He saw a lot of green. He saw a lot of green in front of him, and he said, "You know what? If I can make one guy miss, I got this."
So a first down for the Spartans in North Shore territory. In the backfield with him is Michael Marco.
Salmen has some playmakers. The deal is tonight they're out of position.
Handoff goes to Marco, and he's hit and dropped in the backfield by guess who?
Yeah.
Hunter Gill.
Shocking.
Marco,
shocking. Not really. That guy has just been there. Superb night for him.
And that'll be 2nd and 13 for the Spartans. And there's 16 seconds left on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. Salmen kind of taking their time, yeah, and they'll walk it over to the sidelines as the clock runs out. So at the end of the third quarter, North Shore leads 25-0.
St. Tammany Parish Public Schools, an A-rated school district. Graduates with the highest ACT scores in the state. Facilities with the latest technology. Safe and secure schools. A variety of sports. Fine arts. And learning to last a lifetime.
I'm Superintendent Trey Foles, and this is where we educate every child, every day.
And Smith lofting this one up and diving for a great effort there by number 25, Anthony Mosley. Great effort to dive for Smith's pass, but it goes incomplete through his hands and hits the ground.
Tell you what, that's one way to get the safeties out. Put the ball over the top, and if they find one, it makes them think twice about looking to run first.
Michael Marco, the sophomore, in at running back now for the Spartans. They're going with that trips formation to the left. Once again, Marquez, the closest to us at the bottom of your screen. And this time they'll hand off to Marco, and plenty of room to run. He came out just bursting through the line.
Excellent delayed draw right there. Gave him time to see what was available. He had some space in front of him. The offensive line for Salmen did a good job right there. And I tell you, again, Salmen has playmakers. Get them in space. They can do some damage.
So 1st and 10 for the Spartans into North Shore territory here. And Smith calling for it, looking for a pass once again, lofting it up. And it is caught by Marquez. And Marquez is down to about the 1 yard line, but there's a flag down on the play. And tackled by McDonald along with Noah Marquez.
I don't know exactly what happened there. It could be anything from interference one way or the other, maybe a pick, but it came down in the right spot if you're Salmen.
And they're hollering over to Coach Leonard on the sideline, seeing if he wants to accept or decline. So it's defensive holding, and it's declined. A big gain. Marquez got him down to, let's see where they spot. They spotted it at about the 5 yard line.
So playbook is open at this point. They can run like they've been attempting to do and have been finding some success lately. I tell you what, with the athleticism of the quarterback, I'd be looking to get him wide.
Smith with the draw. He's met in the backfield and dropped by a host of Panthers, including Heath Panks Jr. and Cole Cavallo.
Yeah, North Shore sold out on that blitz right there. It was a run blitz all the way. Bodies in the backfield and nowhere to go.
It was still 2nd and goal, but backed up. So new play coming in from the sideline, as Salmen would like to get into the end zone here, avoid getting shut out, as North Shore leads 25-0. Marco to Smith's right. Smith will keep this one, looking to get around the defense. A lot of defenders there. That was shut out from the start, and Cavallo drags him down.
Yeah, North Shore's defense is sound. They're filling the gap, not giving him anywhere to go. He drifts out to his right, and they really have some good speed getting to the touchline, sideline.
And we are going to step away for the injury timeout as North Shore leads 25-0 with 10 minutes remaining in the game. All right, after the injury timeout, 3rd and goal for the Spartans. Ball at the 13. Smith calling for it, passing left side. Marquez in and out of his hands as he was in the end zone.
He's had such a great night. He's going to want that one back, I can promise you.
Eddie Smith's pass falls incomplete.
So that brings up 4th down. With 9:48 remaining, they got to go for it.
They do, especially when your typical starting quarterback is also the guy who can typically put it through the uprights. Plan B is in effect, and Plan B is going for the end zone down 25-0 anyway. So
25-0, the soccer coach and Coach Inman coming out.
It did. I apologize for that. It's the other football spelled wrong.
Smith calling for it on 4th down. He lofts it up for the end zone. A lot of hand grabbing and a touchdown as Braden Gable comes down with it.
Yeah, there was some hand checking both ways there, and they just let it go, and he went up and got it.
But the Spartans are on the board here in the 4th quarter.
Definitely something for Coach Leonard to build on, something for Coach Borg to look at and coach up. And I'm sure he will. He's done an excellent job, and his staff has done an excellent job getting his guys ready to play tonight. But good for Coach Leonard's crew.
And that was just a good old-fashioned jump ball there. As Smith just lofted it up there and said, Gable, go get it.
Go get it. It's a go-get-it moment.
So they're going to go for 2 here. And Smith calling for it. He'll look to pass once again as pressure bears down. He'll keep it himself, and he is short, well short of the goal line, so the 2-point conversion fails.
He took a lick right there. Flag on the ground.
Flag on the ground, and that looks like some extracurricular activity after the play, so that could be a personal foul.
I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised to see that being the case. He took a major lick on that sideline, and who knows if there's a little chirping going on after the fact.
Yeah, in a rivalry matchup, I wouldn't doubt that.
No, I don't think so.
So it'll be assessed on the kickoff, and with 9:40 remaining here in the 4th, Northshore leads 25-6. So kicking off from the 45-yard line, Northshore's 45-yard line, Eddie Smith. Onside kick, and well, loose ball. Let's see.
It's a scrum.
Yeah, both teams saying they have it. Let's see what the official signal. That was very close. And it is North Shore's ball.
That could have made things a tad bit more interesting in terms of Salmen's offense just coming off a drive, getting back on the field quickly. But North Shore again, they've been on top of things.
So we'll see the North Shore offense. Obviously, 9:37, they're up 25-6. Keep it on the ground. Keep it simple.
Keep the clock running. Right now, the clock's North Shore's friend. They don't need to score again as long as the clock is running and running, nonstop, so to speak. So they'll attempt to assist it in doing that.
So Bounds and Crawford in the backfield with Harris. Harris calls for it. Hand off to Bounds. Up the middle, had room to run. And that's a good gain of about 8 on the carry.
I tell you what, he is set up so deep in that formation that by the time he receives the ball, it's really allowed that offensive line of North Shore to do a little road grading. And at that point in time, he just picks the spot.
So about a 7-yard gain. That's a great running start for Bounds.
So not only does he have the vision to pick out the hole, he's got a head of steam at that point.
2nd and 3 for the Panthers. Snap is back. Harris keeps it, and looks like a miscommunication in the backfield, and a host of Spartans will wrestle Harris down.
Somebody went the wrong way right there, and they'll figure that out in the film room.
That was led by Eddie Johnson.
Game 2 of this, not including obviously a scrimmage or a jamboree, but actual game action, a full game. These things happen this early in the season.
3rd and 8 for the Panthers as the play comes in from the sideline. Harris brings it in. Now you see Jones Jr. checks back in. They have a good little stable of running backs going that they've interchanged throughout the night. Snap back to Harris. He hands it off to Jones Jr., who's met at the line and dumped by a host of Spartans.
Tell you what, no matter who North Shore puts in the backfield, they run hard. Salmen's doing their job. They're putting on some big hits out there, but there's both sides really. They run hard. And for North Shore to have the depth at that position, that's something that's going to benefit them in the long run.
Yeah, Jones Jr. is a junior. Terrius Crawford, a sophomore, and Bounds is a junior. So should be good next year, too.
Indeed.
That brings up 4th and 6. And we will see Austin Dunlap, the preseason All-Metro pick for punter.
And, you know, sometimes when you look at stats, everybody gets fixated on it. But tonight, it's been tactical. It's keep the ball out of the hands of the playmaker. So he doesn't have the eye-popping yardage, but it's been smart play.
And a timeout called by the North Shore Panthers. So with 7:08 remaining here in the game, North Shore leads 25-6. So on 4th down, we'll see Austin Dunlap on the punt for the Panthers, the preseason All-Metro punter. He should be able to open up here. Before the couple times we've seen him punt, they've been closer in. So let's see. And he gets it away pretty good. And it'll bounce down Salmen. Oh, man, Salmen looked to hit it. Eddie Smith goes to jump on it. And I believe North Shore got it as Smith couldn't cover it up. And they do. When those Peter calls are called, you're supposed to get away from the ball, and they're just a big error from the Spartans to not get away from it.
Yeah, that's it's something that a live and learn moment, but not something you're going to look back on fondly. It's just one of those things that as a coaching staff, you're like, you know what, this is the expectation. We'll go back and make sure we work on it and ensure that it doesn't happen again. In this moment, in this game, it's not a good thing, obviously, but it's not the end of the world, given the circumstances. Down the road, it could be, so that could be a problem. So they need to clean that up.
6:46.
First down,
6:45 running clock. And North Shore, excellent field position here on 1st and 10. Harris calls for it. He'll hand it off to Bounds going left side, and he'll be dragged down by Michael Marco, the sophomore linebacker.
Nice tackle on the open field. Getting back to the punt. It's the first time he opened up a little bit tonight, as you mentioned. He's kind of been held in check to a degree because it's been tactical. So for the people who are looking for the numbers at the end of the year, a game like tonight is not going to be that beneficial. But if you understand what he was doing and why he was doing it and how well coached he was in that moment, it certainly makes sense.
Yeah, tactical in a sense that you don't want Eddie Smith to touch it.
You don't want the playmakers with the ball in their hands. That's a bad recipe if you're on the opposite sideline.
So here's our final heat and humidity timeout of the game. 5:59 remaining in the 4th. North Shore's up 25-6. All right, after the heat and humidity timeout, we see the North Shore offense once again on 2nd and 11. Here, 2-back set. Most likely looking to keep it on the ground, and they'll hand it off this time to Jones Jr. Jones Jr. is dragged down after a gain of about 2.
Tell you what, Salmen's defense has impressed me tonight. And I mean, again, if you look at the scoreboard, it doesn't tell the full story. They have really put the work in, and down, as the season progresses and they become healthy and they have all of their complement of players, they're going to be tough to handle. And I mean, I know Coach Leonard has got some stuff he'll clean up as well. Just it's the 2nd game of the year, but the reality is they've got talent. They just need to be healthy.
The tackle there by Christopher Mers for the Spartans, the 6'1", 240-pound junior. And as we've said a couple times this game, the clock is North Shore's friend, so they're taking their time getting back to the line. And Harris calls for it. They run the option, and Jones met in the backfield and dropped back there by a host of Spartans, including Eddie Johnson and Antonio Marquez.
Same guys. They're just on the spot. They've been impressive. And again, I said this earlier, but if a defense has taken on the persona of their head coach, Salmen's done that tonight. I mean, they've played with a lot of grit, determination, and heart. Hats off to them.
So 4th and a mile for the Panthers, and they will attempt the field goal here with Andrew Stein
Tell you what, he's got the
49-yard attempt.
He can handle this.
49-yard attempt for Stein, the junior. Snap is back, placed from Dunlap. Ball is kicked away, has distance, and it is through, and it is good.
Absolutely, he nailed that.
49-yard field goal for the junior, Andrew Stein. So with 3:59 remaining here in the fourth, the Panthers lead 28-6. And Andrew Stein to kick off following his impressive 49-yard field goal. He's had nothing but touchbacks tonight on kickoffs, and that will continue.
I'll tell you the nice thing about that 49-yard field goal. It's one of those moments
touchback.
where,
First down, 10
honestly, if
Spartans,
you look at the
40
stats at the end of the year and it's a miss, it just counts as a miss. And, you know, you look at it and it's dinged it. No one actually will say it's a 49-yarder. But when it's 49 yards and made and it's a long, and with his range, that might not be the long at the end of the year, but for now, what a great start.
Yeah, it was 49, but it looked like he would have had it from beyond 50.
Easily. He had another, I would say, 5 yards in there.
Yeah, so he's hit from 35 and 49 tonight. And Eddie Smith, handoff to Williams, and there's a flag on the play, and that is a false start on the Spartans as we get late in the game. Fatigue starts to set in.
It does, and it's more between the ears than anywhere else. Second game of the year, I realize that some of these penalties are going to occur. I mean, my gosh, they occur at the highest level in the sport. But it's one of those things that Coach Leonard's going to want to have cleaned up, and I'm sure he'll get his guys there.
So 3:54 to go here in the fourth. Eddie Smith and the Salmen offense looking for the same result as they had on their last drive. Smith will keep it coming near sideline, and he'll be forced out of bounds. And he's forced out by the Northwestern commit, Jeremiah McDonald.
Yeah, he closed the distance down pretty quickly. Kind of shows why he'll be playing at the next level.
Yeah, Big Ten football in a great school.
Yes, indeed. We looked it up earlier. We knew this, Evanston, Illinois.
Second down, 10 Spartans.
Beautiful. It's actually almost a suburb of Chicago. It's an easy ride. You can take the L all the way out. Great area.
Smith calling for it, hands off to Williams, and wow, he's drilled and dropped.
Tell you, he made a great cut in the hole, but unfortunately he made it into the wrong spot.
And Heath Panks, a junior, on the stop.
Junior.
So 3:20 to go here in the fourth.
Now, what that should tell you is when you're making a great cut in the hole and then you're getting hit like that, that means there was nowhere to go. North Shore's defense, just stout.
3rd and 11 as they wait for the play to come in, and Smith calls for it, looking to pass, tosses it downfield. McDonald looks for it, and McDonald he high pointed it, and he just couldn't haul it in. He had it by the fingertips and couldn't come down with it.
I tell you what, that ball was up in the air for a long time, and that's another one of those, hey, go get it plays, but North Shore was up to the challenge that time.
So 4th down, and they'll drop Smith back to punt. I would think you go for it, you're down 28-6, but here they just decide not to risk it. And they'll, although you can watch, I mean, we've seen it before, Smith could take off.
That wasn't intentional last time, though.
Khalil Fleming.
So at this point, I think Salmon's looking at it and saying, you know what, if we keep our guys on the field in a tough position, it may take a mental toll more than a physical toll. Because they've played well on the defensive side of the ball.
Right. And I think this is a much different game if LJ was able to go. And that's a good punt. Gets it away. Fleming. Oh, and that, well, it was between the whistles. No call. A big hit from Branyan Bounds on a Salmen player.
Yeah.
A block as people were running away from the ball. You can't get complacent. You have to guard yourself at all times.
Keep your head on a swivel, but that's one of those where It's a gray area is the best way to say it. But live and learn. Live and learn if you're in that situation.
Yeah, at all times between the whistles, you have to protect yourself and show intensity.
Yes, yes. It's a tough lesson, I can promise you.
So here come the Panthers. Ball right at the 50. 2:35 to go here in the fourth.
And again, not knowing, the circumstances or the situation concerning Salmen's quarterback / punter, the practice might be a good thing.
Benedict in the game, ball on the turf, and I believe covered by Salmen from where I can see.
They were there, so if
covered by the Spartans.
And the Spartans do recover.
I didn't see a way for Northshore to get that ball. That ball ended up between 3 Salmen players, so unless they were scrapping over it, it was going to be in Salmen's hands.
49-yard line is where the Salmen Spartans will take over with 2:28 remaining here in the fourth.
I mentioned if the punter is actually getting the work, because you don't know if he's going to be needed in this capacity next week. This actually works out to their benefit as well. These last 2 minutes, it's a nice trial run.
They'll hand it off to Williams coming left side. That's Marco. And he'll be brought down by Panks.
Good hard running. Picked up 2, maybe a short 3, but again, North Shore's defense, very sound.
Stop by number 2, Traven Green.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Spartans, as they have a trips to the right. One to the bottom of your screen there. Smith calling for it. Handoff to Marco once again, fighting through the line, and before eventually being brought down by Hunter Gill. He'll get to about the 45-yard line, a gain of about 3.
More hard running. He gets in there and he churns. And a lot of those yards are yards after, he's being just mauled at the line of scrimmage. So tough stuff, no doubt.
So 3rd and 4, minute 24 left on the clock. Trips to the left. Smith calling for it. Handoff. Marco has a hole and plenty of room to run. Marco 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown by Michael Marco, the sophomore.
Playmaker. You get your ball in the playmaker's hands, and like I said, it could cause a problem if you're on the opposing sideline. And once he broke containment, it was all over.
Yeah, one player kind of got an arm on him. That was about it. He was speeding down the field.
And you're not arm tackling that guy.
No.
That's just not happening.
So they're going to go for 2 here. There seems to be a little bit of confusion as players coming on and off the field. Smith awaiting the play on the field. As it stands right now, it's 28-12 with 1:10 remaining. We have Smith in the gun. Handoff, Marco fighting for the yards, and he has it. 2-point conversion is good.
I tell you what, he was stopped 2, maybe 3 yards short. He plowed through that tackle and just laid out forward and put the ball across the goal line. That was his effort.
So with 1:10 remaining here in the fourth quarter, North Shore leads 28-14. All right, so Eddie Smith to kick off for the Spartans after the Salmen touchdown, and we can expect an onside kick here. As they trail 28-14, there's the onside kick, and that is number 16, Daniel Cantrell.
I tell you what,
recovers it.
A little miscommunication there was almost a big problem. I got to say tonight, given the fact that these schools are only 5 miles apart, not even, definitely a rivalry game, no ifs, ands, or buts. The play on the field, it's been intense. It's been a lot of hard hits, but it's been clean. Not a whole lot of chirping, and that's a testament to the coaches. It's a testament to the character of the young men. Good job on both parts tonight.
And these coaches are best friends off the field. And we talked to them before the game about keeping emotions in check. They have done a very good job keeping their players' emotions in check.
Well, they said
only one personal foul called the whole night. So a minute to go. Harris back in at quarterback. Handoff goes to Jones Jr., and he's running backwards, and Marquez slings him down by his jersey.
Get the cape. I don't know how many times I have to say it. The man is flying to the ball.
But North Shore will take their time here as the clock continues to run. 40 seconds on the clock. And they'll probably run it down as long as they can go and do another run to close out this one.
It's going to be a good win on the road for North Shore. Salmen's going to look at this and say, you know what, we would have liked another bite at the apple here, full strength. Such is life, though. You do the best you can with what you have. You coach them up and get them ready to go. And then when they're full strength, Salmen's going to be tough to handle.
So victory formation, and Harris takes the knee, and that will run it out. So let's take a second to thank those who helped bring you this game, starting with our superintendent, Mr. Trey Folse, our director of broadcasting, Dr. Melody Menard, sideline camera tonight, Rhett Sharp, cameraman, editor, and coordinator of Channel 13, Dave the Rave Williams, our color analyst, Coach Jimmy Inman. So from Salmen High School, where the North Shore Panthers defeat the Spartans in this big Slidell area rivalry, 28-14. My name is Grant Yenny. Good night. You are now leaving the Prep Zone.